Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we are diving into a truly fascinating and honestly highly provocative topic. The video and audio content we are unpacking today comes directly from Xu Feng, the founder of LifeChan Yuan, or as it's stated in the source, 视频或音频内容来自于生命禅院 LifeChan Yuan 创始人雪峰。We're going to look closely at his teachings and written works that completely deconstruct the institution of marriage. I mean, this isn't your standard run-of-the-mill relationship advice. It's a radical reimagining of human energy and potential. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so here is the massive central question we're tackling today. Is marriage the biggest internal friction in life? Kind of a jarring thought, right? Our goal today is just to impartially investigate Xu Feng's radical thesis. We're going to explore why he claims that the very institution most societies consider the absolute bedrock of stability is, in his view, actually a massive invisible drain on human progress. We're going to look at his math, his philosophy, and the whole alternative lifestyle he proposes.
All right, let's start with Section 1, the paradox of marriage. To really get where Xu Feng is coming from, we first have to look at what he calls the paradox of marriage, starting with the traditional stance. You know the old saying, better to knock down 10 temples than wreck one marriage. Xu Feng points out that for generations, moralists, sociologists, and governments have fiercely protected marriage. They treat it as the ultimate cornerstone of stability. There are laws protecting it, endless articles on how to maintain it, and deep-seated cultural adages like this one that elevate the marital bond to an almost sacred, untouchable status. But here is Xu Feng's counterargument. Now, to be clear, he doesn't deny that happy marriages exist out there. He actually says he longs for the romantic ideal of a couple growing old together. But he argues that based on thousands of years of practical human experience, the marital bond is actually the most time-consuming and energy-consuming relationship in existence. He points to it as a primary factor actively preventing people from realizing their full true potential. Moving on to Section 2, the ultimate energy drain. To grasp exactly how this energy drain works, we have to look at Xu Feng's hierarchy of productive forces. Step 1, the first productive force, is the greatest creator, essentially nature's regenerative capacity. Without this, like rain for crops, humans just hit a dead end. Step 2, the second productive force, is us, humans. So the crucial point he's making is this. Humans are fundamentally designed to be productive and creative, but when our human energy is drained by constant interpersonal maintenance, Xu Feng argues it completely represses and destroys our natural ability to create. He actually throws out a challenge here, especially to anyone who's been married for over a decade. Pull out a calculator. Literally, do the math. How much of your 24-hour day is actually spent on true innovation or creation? According to the source material, the answer is usually not much. Instead, he asserts by massive amounts of time are just lost to the spiritual and emotional hostage-taking of maintaining the husband and wife relationship. The energy meant for creation is just swallowed whole by maintenance. Which brings us to Section 3, the loss of freedom. Okay, moving from the philosophical down to the practical daily grind, Xu Feng makes a really stark mathematical claim here. He says the moment you get married, boom, 50% of your personal freedom is instantly lost. Half. He poses a really blunt question, what creative ability can a person possibly have if they've lost their freedom? He even likens this loss to a state of slavery, arguing that if your thoughts, your body, and your property are no longer completely yours, innovation simply dies. Let's look at the tangible, daily freedoms he claims are lost. Do you have the absolute right to just spend your own income however you want? Can you eat whatever you want or go wherever you want on holiday? What about traveling alone? Can you just casually chat and drink tea with an opposite-sex classmate? Or, think about this one, when your spouse is in a terrible mood, do you dare just say no to dealing with it? Xu Feng uses these rapid-fire questions to highlight the exhausting daily compromises that slowly but surely drain a married person. He paints a really specific micro-narrative to drive this point home. Imagine you get a sudden, brilliant burst of inspiration right at midnight. Do you have the right to just turn on the lights, pop open your laptop, and start loudly typing on the keyboard? In a marriage, usually the answer is no, right? Because you have to consider your sleeping spouse. For Xu Feng, this perfectly encapsulates how the trivial, everyday mechanics of sharing a life stifle brilliant, spontaneous human potential. All right, Section 4. Challenging traditional norms. Here, we see how the founder actively dismantles the societal and biological justifications for traditional family life. He starts with a deeply ingrained traditional belief. Upon growing up, every male should take a wife and every female should take a husband. Society views this as perfectly natural and correct. However, Zhou Feng considers this a massive constraint on our thinking. He argues that this cultural programming literally blinds people to the possibility that there might be a vastly superior, far more efficient way to live.
And to back up his claims, he even pulls from theology. He points out that nobody imagines everyone in heaven being bogged down by the chores of marriage. He quotes Jesus Christ, who said, "In heaven they neither marry nor are given in marriage." Xu Feng uses this to argue that if the ultimate, ideal, divine state of existence completely lacks the institution of marriage, well, humanity should probably be striving for that exact same freedom right now here on Earth.
This brings us to Section 5, the second home solution. So, what is the actual resolution to all this internal friction? It leads us to a pretty pivotal question. Will life really be better if men and women simply choose not to marry? It's one thing to point out the flaws in a system, but it's a whole other thing to provide a viable replacement. And this serves as our bridge to introduce the real-world experiment created by Life Chanyuan. The source material sets up a direct, stark comparison. On one side, the traditional path. You're married, you've got high internal friction, and your energy is drained. On the other side is Zhu Feng's second home. He claims that while it might not be 10,000 times better, it is absolutely at least 10 times better. And he states this isn't just theory. He claims this is based on over a decade of actual, earthly experimentation, resulting in a 100% successful experience. Now, you are probably having some immediate logistical doubts, like who cleans the house? What about raising the kids? What happens when we inevitably get sick or old? Well, Xu Feng directly addresses these, stating that he has thought of all these questions and that the second home possesses a perfect program to solve them all. It claims to handle all fundamental societal needs, allowing for total freedom in relationships without the heavy, exhausting burden of marital contracts. This leads to Xu Feng's final, impassioned call to action in the text. He urges divorced individuals, or those who are currently unmarried, to just stop getting married. He tells them not to waste the majority of their life's time and energy maintaining special relationships, and to stop consuming all their wisdom chasing money and status. His promises is incredibly bold. Go to the second home, and you will be moved to tears in the end. Which leaves us with this final, profound question to think about. Is letting go of traditional marriage the true path to unlocking our ultimate human potential? Zhu Feng's philosophy really forces us to critically examine the unseen costs of relationship maintenance and the profound price we might be paying just to fit into societal norms. Whether you agree with the teachings of Life Chanyuan or not, it undeniably challenges us to calculate exactly where our daily energy is going. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.